Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Good day to you anywhere you're listening. I welcome you to another wonderful week of trading. And this is the weekly outlook for 30th of June till 4th of July 2025. And we're starting, of course, from the fundamental outlook of the business. I am Yemi Olaleye. I'm a market analyst, and this is my outlook on the weekly basis for this week. On Monday, there is no single eye impact in the market observed from the forestfactory.com. And on Tuesday, we have another one. We have Great Britain pounds coming up 2:30 p.m. Nigerian time, and bank holiday will be observed in Canada on that day or through the day. So then we can expect Canadian dollar not to really do much. But then in the time pass, no bank holidays, the market actually move on those currencies, rather. But then let's see what happens with the Canadian dollar on Tuesday. But for the same Tuesday, 2:30 p.m. Nigerian time, we have Great Britain pounds coming up as Governor Bailey we speak. We have JPY coming up. We have US dollar coming up. Powell is going to speak that same time. So if you trade Great Britain pounds JPY or Great Britain pounds US dollar in those times, they might be conflicting because those currencies have news coming up the same time on Tuesday. 3 p.m. Nigerian time is another one for the USD coming up with the manufacturing PMI on JOTS. And of course, let's see what we have on the Wednesday, which is 1:15 p.m. Nigerian time. US dollar is coming up with non-farm employment change. On Thursday, we have most of the fundamental news coming up for the week, from CHF to US dollar, 7:30 a.m. for CHF, which is focusing on CPI monthly to monthly. 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time will be for the US dollar coming up with non-farm payroll, unemployment rate, and the rest of that. On that same Thursday, we have the last news coming up on the US dollar, 3 p.m. Nigerian time, which is ISM services PMI. The forecast for that is 50.8, and let's see what the actual will actually become, so we can determine what we do on US dollar on that day. The last trading day of the week, which is Friday, 4th of July, we have the US dollar expecting bank holiday and observing bank holiday on this day, and it will be full day. So when we look at the business part of the business, maybe we can just look at other currency pairs that have to do with US dollar and take the advantage of whatever is happening on the DXY as an index in the USA. So let's look at the technical part of the business very quickly, and let's see what we have for the week. Starting with the DXY, of course, on monthly time frame for DXY, we have a bearish momentum for quite some number of time now, and it will interest you that we are at the all-time low since 2021 on our chart, and that's we never saw that coming. But somehow we analyzed at a point in time that we'll be expecting the market to actually come to target this low. I analyzed it before, and this was actually a low of 2021. And look at where the market is right now. It has broke the previous low of the year 2020. And yes, what we have right here now is a free range, and that is also can be attributed to what's going on fundamentally between the Federal Chairman Powell and President Donald Trump. Of course, President Donald Trump won the interest rate cut, and of course, this is not supposed to be, in the sense that Federal Reserve Bank of America is supposed to work autonomously rather, to decide based on the data and what's going on, rather than the President Donald Trump trying to influence the rate cut and this and that. So Donald Powell is actually under pressure, and that is giving a lot of negative sentiment in the market. And instead of Powell to resign May, I think, 2026, President Donald Trump is talking about replacement for him around the September, October, thereabout end. That alone is giving a lot of pressure and sentiments in the market. So we're seeing more of bearish momentum on DXY, and that means people are not really sure what's going on and what's going to happen in the days ahead. So people pulling out their money from the treasury bills or US stocks and making DXY to actually fall this way. And it's really falling hard. And when you look at this technically, where are we right now? We can't be targeting this low next, and the market will actually get there. This is the next low right here, though it's actually in the price level whereby we can expect it to start reversing. But at the same time, this is the next low we'll be targeting, because there is nothing really stopping the DXY technically right from here. So, but at this low, like I said, at this zone that it is, we can expect that momentum for a reversal. We can expect it right here, okay, and it's already tapping into it. So we can just have more little here, the pullback upside, depending. So this is a monthly time frame anyways. So let's go to the daily time frame. Let's see the 4-hour time frame. Let's see what we have there, and let's see how we forecast this. On weekly time frame, therefore, We have this going on. We can be going back into this. This is the 2021 chart, but let's focus on what's going on immediately in the market, and let's see if we have an opportunity. At a point in time, I was expecting this level to be a very good zone for DXY if it buys, because I was expecting it to target this liquidity here, grab it, move into here before selling. But fundamental is way stronger than that, bigger than what you see on your technical every single day. And of course, this last week we had a bearish momentum in the market, and what can we still expect as it's looking? Yeah, we can still expect more bearish momentum right there, because nothing is really looking like the price is going above that or below that. Just fundamental base now. So working with the fundamental, this low was taken out with strong bearish momentum closing below that previous low right there. And that's the weekly low, of course, and it's massive. So let's see what we have with that on the daily time frame. Let's see if that's transcribed to an opportunity for us to buy USD daily and to sell USD daily. So let's see. We have this one right here. Daily time frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last week happened to be a week that almost every day, not almost every single day of last week was a news for US dollar, which means Powell was saying something every single day of the week. So every day of that week, we had how the market was creating a gap. At the point in time, it will create another gap. Following day, create another gap. Inefficiency was so much on that daily time chart. And when we look at this, what opportunity are we looking at? A buy momentum, of course. If we look at this from a perspective, from a perspective this way, I can be expecting the market to actually buy into this level before it starts selling again. I can be expecting this, okay? Because the low has been taken out with lots of bearish inefficiencies. And when we have bearish inefficiencies in the market, it is ideal that we see more bullish momentum to clear that efficiency to make it a fair market pricing. And with fair market pricing, it gives higher confidence to buy in any direction that we are expecting in the market. Okay, that is on the daily time frame, by the way. And on 4-hour time frame, let's see what we have. Going to 4-hour time frame, yes, this is already